Hello, 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 seller. Come on in. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Uh-oh. Some sellers have some slow sales going on. No, no, no. Let's get a fix for that right away. So come on in, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about boost your eBay sales and also boost them fast. Like, not tips that it's like I got to wait 90 days or 5 months. Like, Kathy, no, no, no. I need to boost my eBay sales fast. And I've got proven tips for struggling sales. And I actually tested several of these tips a week ago on an account that literally the seller woke up to like no sales when they typically have daily sales, and put these tips to work and got sales going, gosh, within hours. So absolutely, these are proven tips for struggling sales, and that's what I'll be sharing with you. So thank you for joining me. Those of you that join me live on my Facebook business page, I love to be selling. Thank you. If you're on my YouTube channel, Kathy Terrell, I love to be selling. Thank you, YouTube people. And be sure to subscribe. And if you've downloaded my podcast, Kathy Terrell, I love to be selling. I so appreciate you. Let me know that you can hear me. Just let me know down below. Also, if you have topics that are near and dear to your heart that you would love a video on or a podcast on, just comment wherever you listen to me. So comment on Facebook or comment on YouTube. If you're on my podcast, then you're going to hop over to my website and click contact, and you'll be able to send me an email and let me know, Kathy, I'd really love to hear about whatever, and fill in the blank. I have a running list. And particularly if a topic is like a hot topic and I'm getting a bunch of messages on it, I will double down and do a video on that for you. That's my promise from me to you. Okay. Also, if I already have a video recorded on it, I'll refer you to it. So to the topic, boost your eBay sales fast, proven tips for struggling sales. First thing, when you're looking like all of a sudden your sales like go along at a certain clip, and for everybody that's going to be different. For some people it's 5 sales a day, for other people it's 10 or 50 or 100, depending on the amount of listings you have, depending on the categories you're in. Okay, you're bouncing along, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden it will flatline or dramatically decrease. So you typically get 10 a day, and all of a sudden it's dropped to 1 or 2 a day. You typically get 50 a day, and it drops down to like 5 or 10 a day. Is just sort of hit pause, right? Breathe. When I was working with this seller, breathe. Okay. The first thing to look at is your sourcing. Okay. So there's basically 5 buckets for eBay sellers. And certainly if you think of other ones, let me know. But these are the 5 general buckets of where our time and energy and our money can go, which is sourcing. Okay, where you're getting your inventory from. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Sourcing. We all source differently. Listing. And we're going to just be talking eBay listings. So sourcing, listing. I mean, literally the work it takes to get your listing up on eBay. Shipping, which is you're packing your sales. And obviously if your sales are slow, not so much time's going to shipping, but it is part of the bucket of an eBay seller, right? So sourcing, listing, shipping, we got 3. Promotions. Now with promotions, this would be for an eBay store seller. That would be coupons, sale events, okay? Promotions, coupons, and sale events. Without a store, it would be your social media. Also with a store, your social media. So you're promoting your products. Again, with a store, that's going to be coupons and sales. Also, you could consider volume pricing. It's not exactly a promotion. It's more of a discount. I would sort of tick that over into listing and social media. So sourcing, listing, shipping, promotions, and education, which is like you've joined me here. Thank you, Sharon. Is I'm learning, and I'm learning about sourcing. I'm learning about listing. I'm learning about shipping. I'm learning about promotions. It can be reading. Some of us are readers. So as much as we love video and YouTubes and podcasts, Other people are readers. Good to see you too. I'm a reader. I love to read. It's just the way I'm wired. I mean, I'm definitely a visual learner too, but I really like to read. So things like tip sheets and guides, I love. And I have a bunch. They're on my website. You can hop over there. I love to be selling because a lot of us are readers. And the great thing with a lot of guides and tip sheets is once you get them, depending on how you read, you can put them on your phone. I mean, if you don't know this, you can download them and you can put them in various file folders on your phone. You can put them on your laptop, your computer, whatever. So don't forget that, which is, yes, you can print them out if you're a paper person and you like to have paper that you can underline and write on. Again, we all learn differently. And others of us like to have it right on our phone or our iPad and read there. So don't forget that for education. Yes, wonderful webinars. Yes, YouTubes and podcasts. And again, some of us, we love podcasts, which is why I have one. Others, we love video. And for others, we are readers. And then also groups. Like I have a membership group, Love to Be Selling Insider. Sharon is one of my wonderful members. So education can be involved in, hopping into your membership group or your favorite social media group and learning there. So dealing with boost your sales fast, and a proven tip if you are struggling. First thing is where your time is going. So again, you've got 5 buckets: sourcing, listing, shipping, promotions, education. Oops, I'm going into 6 fingers, right? Making sure it's right. Yeah, 5. Look at where your time is going. If you've never done a time map, and they're really easy, I mean, there's a million of them out there you can Google and search, but honestly, what I do, I've got my notebook here, my eBay notebook. Just grab a piece of paper, stick it next to you. And again, if you prefer to do it on a phone or an iPad, you prefer to do it digitally, do it. But do several days, like 3 or 4 days, and just track where your time goes. And it can be as general as you want, like 8 to 9. I was reading, making breakfast. 9 to 10, I did my shipping. But track where your time is going. Because sometimes the reason why your sales are slow is that one of those 5 buckets is soaking up too much time, right? I'm as much as education's great, I'm spending a lot of time there, and I need to cut back a little bit, maybe not do 2 hours a week watching YouTubes and videos, maybe only do an hour or half an hour, and then I'll have more time for listing, or I'll have more time for sourcing. So the first thing is really look at where your time is going. And I say this to myself mentally when I start my day after I pray, is what's going to move the needle for sales? I do this for myself, and I do this for my clients, and I do this for my members. What is going to move the needle for sales? And it's different for everybody, okay? It can be listing. Other people, your listings are up. Your listings need to be optimized. Other people, yes, your sales are going great. The money's coming in, but eBay's taking up too much time. So you need to optimize how you're spending your time, which is why the time mapping will really help you, which is how can I streamline things and condense things so that I'm not working a 12-hour day or a 14-hour day. I'm working more like 8 or 7 or 6 or even less. Particularly important for my part-time sellers. When you're working a full-time job, or you might have activities that you're doing as far as like you might be homeschooling, you might have elder care, which is how I started on eBay. And you literally only have 3 or 4 hours a day for eBay, which is you really got to look at where you're spending your time and pick the activities that bear the most fruit for you. Because remember, what we're after is sales. So sourcing, really look at what you're paying for items. Sometimes I'll see people, YouTubers and podcasters, and I really think they mean well, but they'll say, this is death. This isn't selling anymore, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm thinking, I'm selling it. People I know are selling it. But what it is it's not selling for as much as it used to sell. So I'm going to pick something like Starbucks because it really, it has, it varies a lot depending on what the mug is or whatever. Anyway, that mug may not sell. I remember when I got, this was like 5 or 6 years ago. It was a city mug. And they were going for like 80, 90, because literally you had to be in that city to get it. And I think it was Barcelona, if I remember correctly. it may not get 80 or 90 anymore. I haven't looked recently. It may only get 50 or 40. Well, it's still worth picking up at a thrift store if you're getting it for $1 or $2, right? And with clothing, because clothing can vary a lot. Something might be really hot, and let's say LL Bean's always a favorite of mine because my husband and I both like LL Bean. And I haven't checked prices recently because I haven't done any winter clothing shopping yet on eBay. They might used to have gone for $50, $45, but now they're going for 30. But again, if you're getting it for $1 or $2, and this is depending on how you source, you're okay. So listen, but then do your own homework. And that's going to be using product research, which used to be Terapeak. And you can also do advanced search. And now product research is on your phone. So you can do this when you're out and about. The data goes back 3 years on your phone. Okay, so you don't get the killer price, but you still get an okay price if you can buy it for a low enough price. And this is the issue with the thrift stores you're hitting or the bins you're hitting. Or I do retail. I mean, I go into Macy's and Nordstrom and places and hit the clearance racks. And you're at Walmart or you're at Target. Look at the price you can get it for. And this can get really hard. You have to sit on your hands and put your credit cards and your cash away, which is, yes, it will sell, but the margins are just awful, which means you're only going to make $1 or $2 or $5. And the reason why $5 is not the greatest, unless you're selling your own personal things and you're just getting it out of the closet, is think about your time. This is me talking to you. Your time is worthwhile. When I see sellers stressing and really like putting themselves through the ringer to sell an item that they bought for $5 and they're selling it for $14.99 free shipping, which means if they're making anything, it ain't much. It's probably like 25 or 50 cents. My heart goes out to them. Now, it might be that you made a mistake. All been there. If you've never made a mistake, let me know. We've all made mistakes. And we've grabbed things going, oh, this is great, because maybe it sold for us like 2 years ago and now you cannot give it away. You're like, oh my God, why did I buy this? You know what I mean? We've all done that. Totally forgivable. Just sell it and get it out of the house. Sometimes you just redonate it back. It's like, you know what, just take the loss and run. But really, we've all made mistakes. So don't let people chastise you on that. But look at what it's selling for and look at those prices, because if it's free shipping, remember shipping went up for most of us on most items with USPS in July. Even if you're using things like pirate ships, still watch it on shipping, okay? Factor in the shipping and look at how much you're making. Now, if you're not making a lot on it, like only a couple of bucks, but it's a multi-quantity item. This happened to me, years ago. It was, you've heard this story before, maybe if you listen to me. Donna Karan shirts, rhinestones. I mean, they were great. They were plus size, Donna Karan, black cells, rhinestones, bling cells, plus size cells. So it was like, check. And it wasn't killer margins. I think I made maybe $10 on each one, right? But it was a multi-quantity listing. Because I could get a bunch of them, right? So in a situation like that, like you got a bunch of mediums or a bunch of larges, and you do your research and they sell, you can either list it as a multi-quantity listing, like showing that you have 5 or 6 larges, or, which I'm going to recommend to you, is you do scarcity, which is I've got 5 larges, I only list one at a time. And when it sells, I ship it out, and then I click relist. And the reason you click relist is it lets eBay know that this is the item that sold, that it was popular. You want that data on your listing. When you end listings and then you do sell similar, it's creating one that's completely new it doesn't have the past data. But if it's sold and you have the exact same item, okay, it was all Donna Karan, large. I think they came from Lane Bryant. They had it was the exact same shirt. So, okay, you're not making $30 on it. You're not making $20. You're only making $10 or $5. But it's easy, because once you do the one listing, boom, relist, right? It took me like a year, I think, to sell them all. But once I did the first listing, Okay. So that's when, yes, the margins can go a little lower. And I've heard people too where they did do multi-quantity because it was an item people might buy a bunch of. I'm thinking something like a water filter, Brita filters or pure filters. It could be something like batteries. I mean, you guys tell me things where it would be a bunch or people would buy a bunch. Then cell phone cases maybe. Then you might do a multi-quantity. Okay. And you just do the one listing. That's when I'll do lower margins. So I'm not getting sales. I want to kick my sales up. You've got to look at what you're paying for items. And you've got to be competitive with prices, particularly if you're a newer seller. If somebody has a gazillion feedback, my gazillion feedback people, you can charge more. If you're new, you're going to have to lower your price a little bit because you're competing with the person with gazillion feedback. Okay. So check the price. I actually was helping another seller. This was like 2 weeks ago, slower sales. They sold things that were name brand items, which means other people had them too. Their prices were higher for the exact same. I mean, I literally searched it. You know, I pretend to be a shopper. So I go on eBay and I shop it. And their prices were like 30% higher than everybody. Now, if it's brand new in box, if it's autographed, if it's first edition, if it comes with a bonus tote bag, you know, something like that where it warrants being more. And some things, by the way, if you guys are not shipping with eBay International Shipping, do it, because I've gotten a couple of things where it's sold and it's sold at full price, even though I had best offer on it, because it was eBay International Shipping. I just sold one really nice sale to the Netherlands because I love looking at where they are. eBay International Shipping, plus you're not going to get it back. So slow sales, please check what you're paying for items. It can be so hard when you're out in stores because you see it, you look it up, you know it sells, but you're not going to make any money, or you're going to make such a little amount of money. Okay, so please be kind to yourself. Consider your time. Your time is worthwhile. I'm telling you this, your time is worthwhile. And it's going to be, you might have to clean the item, right? You're going to have to take a picture of the item. Then you're going to need to list the item, and we all list at different speeds. I'm an acknowledged slow lister. I just don't rush. I'm not a good person at rushing, laughingly, as she lives in New York City, but I don't like to rush listing. Okay. So please consider what you pay for items, and please look at the price. I was just listening to a wonderful seller whose sales are up. Yay. And what she shared was her prices have been spot on. She's really been taking time pricing items. And I've heard several people recommend this. I recommend this. When you're checking solds, when you're looking on product research or advanced search, you always sort of want to look in the medium of prices, because typically that's where you're going to want to sit, again, unless it's signed, new in box, has some outrageous bonus, or it's in a dismal shape. Like I saw one person selling, it was a vintage cool purse, but the handle was missing. Something like that, you're going to have to come down in price. The clasp doesn't work. You know, there's something off. You're going to need to go on the lower end. Okay. So always consider that the condition of the item. So what you're paying, what you're pricing at, and what she shared, which I thought was great. She goes, you know, she had best offer on everything, but she said that lately she'd been getting great sales without using best offer. Isn't that interesting? Because her pricing was really good. Okay. So consider that, where yes, you could go $1 or $2 higher, but maybe just price it $1 or $2 lower. Why? Because you want to get it sold. Okay. So proven tip to increase sales, look at where your time is going. If your sales are slow, can you cut back a little bit on something that maybe isn't bearing? Like, it's great to take this class. I'm going to pick something. You know, maybe it's great to take this class. I'm trying to think of something. Canva. I love Canva. But now is not the time to take a class on Canva. And Canva has great free tutorials right on Canva. It's not the time to spend an hour learning Canva. Now is the time to really look at maybe 4 or 5 recent listings and really double check my price. Go back into product research, check recent solds. Okay. Maybe I have a huge bin of unlisted inventory, right? Maybe it's not the time to go sourcing right now. it's the time to get those listings up and pricing them competitively. Yes, I could go a little higher, but right now I just really need to get those sales going. Let me just drop my price down a little bit. Get into eBay International Shipping. If you're not, I'm telling you, every week I get a sale through eBay International Shipping lately. Yay! Okay, so do eBay International Shipping. It has great protection. I mean, I cannot think of anything negative to say about eBay International Shipping. There's no downside. So please be careful when you're sourcing. It can be so hard because you see things that are so pretty, or it might be a memory for you. You know, I mean, you see something that has a childhood memory, and in that case, I mean, maybe you're getting it for yourself, you know, because that's different. But really look at the prices, and don't listen all the time to the negative naysayers saying, "Oh, you can't buy this, you can't do this." Okay, so you're not going to kill it with that thing anymore. You're not going to make $50 on it or $100 on it, but you'll make 20. I mean, as long as it's not a total pain to ship, do consider how hard it is to ship. I'll take $20, right? Again, depending on how much you're making, right? If I'm having to spend 70 to make 20, I'm going, I'm not so sure about this. But you know what I mean? So some things, yes, the prices have come down, particularly in clothing. I've noticed, particularly in clothing, the prices have come down, but you still make good money depending on how you source. So time. Really be careful with your pricing when you're buying things. Also be wise about things when you're pricing them. And if you do hit a multi-quantity, yay, totally try my scarcity tip, which is just list one at a time. Just list one, let it sell. Yay. That's when you do relist. You don't do sell similar because you want that sales history to carry forward if you've never done that. Hi, Angela. Oh, thank you so much. Angela says she's thankful for my advice. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Kara, great to see you, my friend. Hello. Well, okay, on my personal page, if you want to go over to my personal profile, yesterday I put up a picture of a purple car. And Kara's like, my car. I looked at it too. I was like, I love this car. But New York City, we get some fun cars I take pictures of. Debbie, I've been using your tips. Sales improved. Yay, Debbie. Glad to hear it. I really sharpened my sourcing to products, up my promotions. Sourcing wisely is so important. And it can be really hard because the emotions do get going. You see that sale price. Also, some things are just really pretty. I mean, they're really pretty, but they don't sell for enough money. It's like you got to sit on your hands. Sharing 5 items. Excellent. Thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate the feedback. Now, it is mid-August. I'm going to date this. Oh, that's another quick tip for YouTube's podcast. Also on social media, particularly YouTube's and podcasts. Look at the date of the post, okay, of the video or the podcast. eBay and everything, you guys. So if you're Amazon sellers, my Etsy sellers, welcome Etsy sellers, Poshmark, please, you hear me? Please check the dates because things change so fast. And you can watch something or listen to something. This is the greatest tip ever. And it's 5 years old. It might still work. Okay. There's a very good chance it's outdated. So just please check the date. And if it does sound like a really cool tip, just search that tip. Search it on YouTube, search it on your podcast place, wherever you get your podcast, and search whatever that tip is. eBay titles, right? eBay shipping, like eBay International Shipping. It used to be global shipping, right? Global shipping had a lot of issues. We can all talk about that. eBay International Shipping does not, EIS. So if you're watching something from 2 years ago, you'd go, oh, I'm never shipping international on eBay. It's changed. It's fabulous now. You're losing sales if you're not doing it. Okay, so always check the date. So this is August 2024. We're pretty much in the middle of back to school right now. And even if you're like, Kathy, I don't sell backpacks, I don't sell notebooks. It's like, okay. But there is a huge variety of things that sell for back to school. And please remember, back to school is everything from our wonderful little pre-K people all the way through college and grad school. And please don't forget Teachers Shop. And I'm going to throw this up because this is one of my free guides for you guys. The other thing is, besides teacher shopping, parents shop. And I know this firsthand because I used to work brick and mortars. And what happens is the big brick and mortars, what a lot of them do is they offer deals and coupons. Come on, Target, Walmart, all of them do this. Macy's. They offer coupons and deals to the parents and also to the students, but it's typically the parents are with the student. 25% off. And there was one store I was in, and they had special shopping hours for college students in New York. And I'm sure other college towns do the same thing. Everything you bought during the college shopping time was like 20 or 25% off. Well, the parents are buying for themselves too. So they're buying the stuff for the kids. They were moving the kids into the dorms, but they're buying things for themselves too. And they do the same thing on eBay. So you may not have the backpack, the notebook, the pens, but you've got wonderful clothes. You've got wonderful collectibles. So while the parent is buying for the student of huge variety of ages, they're also going, oh, let me get a top. Let me add to my salt and pepper collection. Let me add a vintage lunchbox that I love so much. So please, please, please don't think that you don't have back to school products. The guide is free. Hop over to my website, I Love to Be Selling, and grab it and download it, because the back to school shopping really can drive momentum for you. So besides sourcing wisely, pricing wisely, is knowing what retail season is going on online right now and seeing if you can sort of tweak some things in that direction, because that will bring you sales too. Good. And Cheryl's here too. This is great. Welcome, 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 everybody. So grab the guide, watch your time, and you're in charge of your day. I know sometimes, particularly if you've got younger people in the house, that could be a little difficult, but is to make sure whatever time you have allocated for your selling, okay, 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, that it's going to tasks that bring you income. So it's great to do those other things that are a part of our selling and a healthy part of our selling, but always focus on what is going to bring in the money, right? Remember Sherry Maguire, show me the money. What's going to bring in the money, and focus on that. Okay. Hey, Christy, good to see you. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, Christy and Cheryl and Debbie and Sharon. This has been a joy. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.